from New York. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
And the creator, would you be the director too?
Yeah, I directed some of it.
There you go. And the main character, Logan, from Dear White People.
Netflix original.
Yeah, shout to Justin too, or shout to you, Justin. But I also wanted to say this is a reality show, right? This is a documentary.
Yeah, this is just a
about
sober
white people
documentary about white people
and how fucked up they are. Yes,
that's what I've been accused of. So I guess so.
Well, no, like on Netflix comments, like the whole thing is like, fuck this show. The show's trash.
I only heard about this today, by the way.
Really?
Now, granted,
it wasn't. I felt like a bunch of trolls got together
yeah.
were like slamming it as like super racist.
Here's
and,
the deal.
All this shit.
First of all, they're really late because the movie came out about
Right.
2 years ago.
2014,
right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess they didn't see the film or whatever. I mean, the teaser trailer that came out that got all the controversy, like nothing. Like you were in the radio station and was
Asking
like,
politely.
"Hey guys, can you like stop wearing blackface?" And people freaked out. Like David Duke made a thing about it, which I personally took as a compliment because
if you get Duke involved,
Screw
that
that
means
guy.
that means you're hitting on the note that you're trying to hit
I
on.
feel like I did something right.
But wait, I'm just curious. What did he say?
I didn't read it. I didn't watch it. I
okay.
just saw that he did this big video about white. I saw Justin calls for white genocide, which is accurate. And so I closed it and I never. No, I can't watch that stuff.
So Justin, you
Yeah.
want to kill white people,
Right? Yes.
and you
Dying with laughter.
First of all, that's gonna get cut and used in something. Whatever.
Right.
Take it.
and you
Very nervous here.
But you, ma'am, on the show, you fall in love with a white guy. Yeah?
What?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Is that a spoiler alert?
Well, you haven't seen the show, so you don't know when it happens. Do you?
Wow.
But I was told that. So
It's in the trailer. It's in the
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah, you can tell that's
So
what
it's not
happens.
spoiler alert.
No,
Right.
it's fine.
Sam's got a white bae.
Yeah, she's got a white bae, hashtag white bae.
And how does she feel about him?
She likes him a lot.
Okay.
She wishes he didn't put her business on the gram.
Wow.
Because he puts out this picture after they've done the thing, the business thing.
One
Sex?
of the things.
That thing.
Sexual relations.
The sexual thing.
Within the first 5 minutes.
So do
Was
you
it
actually
that?
have sex, Logan, with him? Is there like an
That's-
interracial sex scene?
Well, you'll have to watch the show.
See, now I'm scared to ask you questions because I don't want to give it
Succeed.
away.
You can give it away. It's
You
out
can give
on
that
Netflix.
part. Yeah, you can give that
Yeah.
part away.
Because what I saw, because I haven't seen all the episodes, was it more that of him putting your personal business out there? Because from the character, I feel like she was just more ashamed that people found out that he was white, and you were
Right.
standing for such a cause at the time.
I think it was both. I mean, she put up that front it's I want to have control over my social setting, but it is kind of like everyone thinks of her as that pro-black girl, and
Right.
then they see her with the white guy.
And her best friend takes her down. I mean, I'll be honest with you, because when we did the movie, who Sam ends up with, that was a big part of the Q&As. And Joelle, your best friend in the show, takes you down about, because Sam used to be this character that's like, I would never date my oppressor, basically. And here Sam comes with a secret bae. I think, and that's the thing about the show is for everything a character does, there's another character what are you doing?
Right.
Well, Justin, and did you write this specifically obviously the movie wanted to challenge several things on the college campus and
Sure.
kind of based on your own experience. Last time you were here, we kind
Yeah.
of talked about that, right?
Yeah, in some ways.
But writing in this woman who is basically leading a movement on campus, right? And then her falling in love and just letting love win, if you will, right?
Sure.
Not letting the other bullshit get in the way.
Yeah.
That was obviously done on purpose to continue to challenge people in their thoughts, right?
Maybe so. I mean, I'll say that Gabe and Sam's relationship is complicated at best. But I did want to tell the truth about the fact that, as a black person, sometimes we can feel really bifurcated. We feel
What does that mean?
bifurcated means we are sort of
Hey,
our
sorry.
personalities are a bit divided because we've got our white friends at work, we've got our black friends at home, we've got the people from the town that we're from. I felt like
Got it. So
a
it
lot
means
of
code switching.
Yeah, a lot of our experience is kind of stuck in this code switching. And Sam, who's been who presents as one way, is finding out that she actually has feelings that bring her in a different way. So what do you do in that situation? I feel like a lot of us have been in that place in some way or another. So that's really what it's about.
Logan, we know Justin because we've interviewed him around the movie, but you what is your background? You black, you mixed, you date
I'm
white guys
black.
in real
I-
life?
I
Are you
date-
super pro black woman, natural hair? What's the whole, give me a whole thing.
Wow. Give me the
yeah.
whole thing. Give it you. Give us you. Go.
Give it, go.
Well, in terms of dating, I definitely date everybody. I like ambitious and smart and talented and funny and
Race
all of those
doesn't
things.
matter.
It doesn't matter. I will say that I'm always looking for a black man personally, but I'm open to everybody. That's kind
Have
of
you ever dated a white guy?
yeah.
You have.
White, Dominican, black.
Oh,
Dominican's black.
sometimes
same
at
thing.
once. Yeah.
Is it? It is. But it's kind of. I mean, but
Culturally different.
Culturally different. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It is
Culturally
culturally
different.
especially when you're getting to the level of nuance that this show has. Like
There's
there's
cultural.
some cultural differences. Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from Georgia, Atlanta.
And what is your ethnic background?
My parents are black, so I'm black. girl.
And how much like the character in terms of your like political awareness, pro-blackness is really you?
I was definitely really aware of social injustice, and I was super active before the show. I will say the show has made me way more conscious and way more just aware of my research. You know, like everyone on social media is so passionate. Like as soon as something happens, you go and you post and you share how you feel about it. But have you really researched it for yourself?
Let me answer on behalf of everyone and everything. No, they haven't. The thing that I find really difficult about this time, and I will not bore you guys with the nuance of that no one cares about of being
I care.
a white person who's incredibly there's never even a good
Well, you wear jewelry. Look at you.
yeah, exactly. There's not even a good word to use to say like, supportive of fighting against, at least in the same way that all of us bullshit fight against the social injustice.
Yeah.
I won't even get into the nuance of how hard it is to want to be really progressive and outspoken, while at the same time, even though everyone's only ever heard you say progressive, outspoken things, if you say one thing wrong one time,
it's over.
I will get dragged.
Oh, yeah.
And I will, and my standard for getting dragged is totally different than another person in a similar situation who would look different position.
Yeah.
But all that being said, there are moments like yesterday where literally there's the conversation that's not that serious, at least as I saw it, about LeVar Ball and a white female journalist arguing. And I made a statement about LeVar Ball being a jackass, which prior to yesterday, no matter how you feel about him, I don't think him being a jackass is really in question. You could like him or not like him, but I'm pretty sure universally the jackass part is there. And I said that, I'm like, oh, shocking, LeVar Ball being a jackass. And I get a tweet from someone, for some reason it just struck a chord that was so irritating of like, Rosenberg, I suggest you back out of this one.
What?
And I'm like, wait, hold on. First of all, this isn't that deep. Second of all, does that mean that any time I now, in an effort to be progressive and on generally the black side of issues, I have to make sure to never be publicly critical of a black person again? Because then I'm a fraud.
Yeah, because slavery, so you can't do it.
I know. And by the way, and if that was the case, I'd get it. I'd be like, all right, cool. I understand slavery. I shouldn't say these things. I have to keep it to myself. But is that really how we want to operate? Because it makes the points that I want to make on other stuff less valid.
You know what's funny about that? We actually deal with that in the show because each episode of the show is from a different character's point of view. So, the show kicks off with Samantha White and her radio show, Dear White People, but then we get into Lionel's shoes and then we get into Coco's shoes. And the funny thing is, White Bay has an episode too, where we deal with like what it feels like to be a white face in a black place that's a part of a mostly white place. And we get into his feelings.
What's it like to be a white face in a black space but in a mostly white place?
Right.
So he's,
You're on a predominantly white university.
Yeah.
Right.
In a predominantly black room, but you're the white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really identify with that to a certain extent.
So, episode 7's for you, man.
All right, I will watch that.
One thing that I did find interesting was this conversation because it was a friend of a friend's like niece who's in college right now. Was the whole like blackface party experience.
Yeah.
Because when I started looking up the show and I think I clicked on a hashtag, I don't even know, I went down this weird rabbit hole of Twitter, right?
Yeah, it's possible.
And then I saw the conversation of like, people, of course, shitting on the show, calling it racist, saying that things like that don't happen anymore. Because in the show, there's a blackface party that happens in the university. They were like,
Didn't
that's
somebody
old.
just get in trouble for that?
It happens
Yes,
like every
but it
other
happens
week.
all the time. And it was interesting
Every
to
Halloween,
see
for sure.
because as much as people were attacking you, calling you guys racist and race baiters, blah, 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 but it was a good conversation for you to bring up that should still exist right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Here's
it's definitely a present student's experience, is whether we want to acknowledge it or not.
Right.
The majority culture who gets to ignore these issues, telling actual marginalized people that their experience is invalid, unfortunately, that's nothing new.
That's
But-
every
Yeah.
day.
That's nothing new. But I will say, man, since the show has actually like come out and people have seen it, The haters have gotten. I don't know what's your experience. I feel like they've gotten kind of small.
They've gotten kind of quiet.
They've gotten a little
because they don't have
quiet.
anything to say.
They're also kind of busy defending their presidents.
Right, there's that.
And that's facts, what you just said.
Facts.
And I gotta tell you guys, I went to they don't always let Jews into the white meetings, but I went with a non-Jewish friend. They brought me to one of the white meetings.
You were welcome.
And they let me. They didn't know.
The White Caucus.
They didn't know. They
This
didn't know.
time.
And I went in. I was very quiet, but I observed a conversation. And yeah, they just love blackface. They're like, listen, we just can't give it up. Blackface is just too appealing. We know it's probably not good, but we just have to do it. It's one of those things I'll never understand. It's like
It is one of
white
those
white
things.
people in the N-word and white people in like black
Shit.
costumes.
I don't get
They
it.
cannot.
They can't let it go.
Like, no, we have to. Please, the Jamaican wig. I was at the airport. I just needed to do it. Like, why?
Well, because it's privilege, and being told when you're privileged and you're told that something that you would just have fun with is something that you're not supposed to do. Think of a toddler. I have a toddler at home. It's just fun putting the fork in the socket. It's fun. Why? No, but like,
But
they
it's
still
fun.
go for it though. Like their body can't stop. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, but hold on. But I honestly, more than I truly believe that I could be in a conversation with on planet Earth white people who could most benefit from the standpoint of like if it was okay to
Right.
use the N-word,
Right.
that in a comedic sense. I could really appreciate if it was free. Like everyone's like, oh no, the N-word's fine. You can use it in a comedic way, the way comedians do, and the way it's funny. I really appreciate when the N-word is used like tactfully by a comedian. It's really funny.
to
I
say
get it.
something
Yes,
specific,
like, there are
yeah.
certain reactions that you could use just that word,
Yeah.
and it can say so much
Yeah.
if you're in a certain room. I'm not talking about in a racist way, of course, in like a comedic
No,
way.
it's context.
I get it.
Yeah.
I still learned, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to have that tool in my belt. Like,
Well, that's
you just
you know,
can't
it's
have
like
it.
any other word, right? Like it's just like bitch. It's like any derogatory term when people of that group use it. Like even when gay people use terms amongst each other, right? Like you can't when women are like bitch, da 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 da. Like, no, I can't just walk in and call a woman. It's not going to happen. And even black people, we don't universally use
Exactly.
the N-word.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
all black
Yeah.
people don't
Exactly.
enjoy that word. It's not a thing. You
can
can't
al- you
use
can
it at
pretty
home.
much count-
Yeah.
right.
You can't use it at the dinner table.
Unless
Grandma is
you-
not going for it
Right.
at
That's true.
all.
Unless you're a black person in a Quentin Tarantino movie, then you use it like every sentence.
Hard R.
In every
What
thing you
is-
say.
Why do you, and how do you feel about that?
I hate it. Listen, episode 5, we talk about it. Here's the thing, like, I think he's an excellent filmmaker, but I really wish he would leave our experiences alone because honestly, man, it's like a gut punch. Every time I sit in a Quentin Tarantino movie and hear audiences laugh at the characters throwing that word back and forth. Like, it's not for me.
What
It was
is it?
not
What
made
has
for
he
me.
ever tried to directly explain? Like
Yes,
the
he
most
has.
Yes, he has.
dead N-word storage was probably the biggest one,
he's
right? What was
used-
the logic behind
He
it?
uses and has used the N-word in interviews before.
Yeah,
And-
he says it's to
What?
take away the power. Here's the deal.
Yes.
Here's where it really goes. We'll talk about
In
what's still
explaining the
happening.
N-word.
Got it.
So in scripts there's the dialogue and there's the action, right? The action the audience never sees. The action is just for, the people making the movie, the people who read the script later on. He used the N-word in Django Unchained in the action just to describe what was on the screen. And the Academy gave him an Oscar for it. I got a problem with
What do
that.
you mean? You read the
That's gross.
script?
Yeah.
And in the script, can you explain what you mean? What action would
So
be an N-word?
like in the Dear White People script, Sam walks across the street and says hello to Gabe and insert dialogue.
Sure,
in him just describing what's happening in the movie,
He's like,
using
nigga
N-word.
walks across the street.
Yeah, and it's like completely
No.
unreasonably inappropriate, and he won an Academy Award for that. Here's the thing, I think he's a really talented filmmaker. I just think his relationship with that word in particular and the black community, I
problematic.
hate the word problematic,
I
but it
don't.
is
Why
kind
do
of
you hate
problematic.
problematic?
Just because I think it can
it's
be
generic.
overused.
It can. P.O. I've gotten.
It can be
I
overused.
like
I've
it.
gotten someone tossed at me, but I got it. I know what you mean. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
There's
like
a lot of
tossing me like
problematic
it's like
things.
Rosenberg, you on this Pop-Tart box with white icing. I mean, that's problematic.
problematic.
Is it?
Like, what do you mean? Why? No, but
Because
okay,
he shouldn't be eating Pop-Tarts.
That's a very good point. So here's the question, though.
You're selling diabetes to the black community.
That's right, classic white man. Do you think he's a racist?
Boy, this is going to be charged. I think a racist, this is how I define a racist. I don't define a racist as a bigot or a person who hates another race. I don't think Quentin Tarantino hates black people. I really don't. But I define a racist as someone who encourages a system of disadvantage based on race. And
That could be true based on the way.
I think some of his actions have encouraged that system. Yes, I do.
You're really good with words. You
That's why he's a writer.
You should write. No, you just answered so efficiently. That was I need to learn how to do that.
Justin, your work, now that you've accomplished the movie, this first season of Dear White People, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you tell us before you had worked on another project before Dear White People?
Oh, I'm always working on projects.
Well, or
yeah.
you had gotten one out, maybe an indie project.
No,
Dear White was the first.
Dear White People, the movie, the book, and the TV show is all I got so far.
Yo,
was the first.
that's quite a run,
I'm
by
gonna
the
have
way.
socks
But
coming out.
what's the interest level in your work now that you've had these accomplishments?
I mean, it's surged. I've had some really interesting conversations about some movies and some things I could possibly do. I've got stuff in development. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like it's got to be the right project. I've got to be able to like say something with the project. It can't just be like, oh, this is a story about black people. Come through, Justin. It's got to be something I can say something new and fresh with. So that's what I'm always on
And
the
how do
lookout
you
for.
maintain that for yourself? How do you maintain that integrity, I guess I'll call it, for lack of a better word?
I just do. It's a choice.
No, but even moving forward, like how do you plan on making sure you maintain that and, accessing the dollars and the support to create?
Right. I just can't get up in the morning for something I don't care about. I just can't do it. Like I can't say yes to a thing.
So privileged.
Just because I know.
Wish I had that option.
I know.
I don't care about anything today. I'm not coming to work.
Right.
No, but it's just like,
Lord, what do you have for flashing lights? All right, I'm not coming in.
But like making
But
a
you
movie.
do care. You care about the people listening. You care about
You care about like what
No,
you-
I'm
what-
joking.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
very privileged. Don't listen to him.
I'm
No,
very
but I'm
privileged.
saying like with a movie takes so much to make that if the story is not a story I want to tell or has something to say, like I can't do. It's just too much work. Like
And not to mention,
I can't take it on.
Ebro, he could always do Dear White People, the cartoon. He could always do the horror version.
Yeah,
There's so
does
many
this-
options.
How far does this brand go?
I think we got a Broadway show in us. I don't know. I
You really
this is
could.
probably-
You really
The
could.
next thing I do will be very different, just because I
Dear
have
White
a-
People, the musical.
I just have a lot. I have a lot of other stories in me. So
Fuck
you know.
you, Whitey. And like
Love
this
it,
whole
Ebro.
album,
Yeah,
about
I'm into
Ofays
it.
and crackers.
It's the next
great.
Hamilton. I'm here for it. No, that's got to be down the line if that ever happens. I got to do something other than Dear White People.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because right now it's rocking.
Hey, I'm here. I'm still here. We're still doing it.
Now there was
Hopefully for the
a
foreseeable
rumor
future.
that originally Dear White People, the TV show, was being optioned, but it wasn't being done by you.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was going to be a Juicy J was going to executive produce
Wow.
it. A
Wow,
totally
wow,
different
wow, wow.
angle.
Okay.
Yeah.
The money I would have won in that lawsuit, I think,
Would have been strong.
Would have probably.
No, I will tell you the truth though. I'm joking, but when I saw the thing as the TV show, you definitely have that moment where you go, "Is this the same as the movie?" Because a lot of times it's not.
I think it's better than the movie in every respect.
Because you can get deeper, right?
Right.
We can get
It's
deeper.
funnier.
It's funnier. I had the right resources. The movie was. I'm proud of it, but this was an independent shoestring, 22 days to shoot the thing kind of situation. We were constantly rushing with the show, like. With Netflix behind us, we had in Lionsgate, we had the resources to sit down, write for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro,
Like,
your
do it
catering
properly.
budget now is probably like the budget of your entire film.
Fact.
Netflix
You're
out
not
here like
lying.
this. Y'all want to do more?
You're not lying.
Do you, as a result, now root for other Netflix shows?
I always
Like, yo, House of Cards coming. Let's get this money back. Time to
I
get
love
subscription
Netflix.
up.
I've loved Netflix shows since before I had one.
What are your favorite Netflix shows besides your own?
I love House of Cards. I really
Love
do.
House of
May 30th.
I love,
I'm so amped.
I love Kimmy Schmidt. I think that Titus alone.
They are literally
is-
filming around this building that show 24/7. Always. That's whenever
Wait,
you see
what's
something
Kimmy
being
Schmidt?
filmed.
Kimmy Schmidt. Oh my God,
What's that?
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. It's a fucking weird story, but it's awesome.
it's basically Tina Fey jokes like
Yeah.
nonstop with Titus Burgess.
into
Like
it.
that's why I watch
I
it.
love Tina
Oh,
Fey.
she
Happy
sounds
birthday,
good.
by the way,
More
Tina Fey.
woman.
Oh, it's her birthday.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
no.
are you guys are you doing a season 2? Of Dear
I
White
sure
People?
hope so. They don't
Okay.
tell you. They notoriously hold it from you for like a month, so I gotta wait. But I feel good about it. I also love Chewing Gum. Have y'all seen Chewing Gum?
Chewing gum.
How-
She's
how is
so
it?
good.
Chewing Gum is like a black show if Tina Fey wrote it. It's so bizarre, but the lead actress who I guess like the character started, it was a one-woman show in, I guess, she's British, so, but it's a black woman playing this like 20-something girl who's just trying to get laid, and it's so... Oh my God, it's so outrageous and funny. She like prays to a Beyonce poster. It's like, it's kind of my everything.
Yo, so hold on. So you're saying now we have now like multiple
We have
shows
multiple
on television
black
that are
people on
nuanced
TV.
black
It's crazy.
shows.
It's crazy. And they're gonna take it
Wow.
away, so we gotta keep going.
my favorite thing happening right now in terms of
Wait a minute.
the
Wait, time out. they're going to take it away.
Of course. Listen, this happened in the 90s. Black has been in vogue before.
So let me ask you a question, because often in our culture, we plan for the worst. And we put a lot of energy into that.
Yeah.
That idea, like, it's going to all come crashing down. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other energy is not put out of like making sure that it
stays.
can't.
Well, that's where I was going with it. It's like, we can't take it for granted is what I'm saying. It's like it will go away if we don't keep sort of like supporting and talking about the stuff that we like.
But I think filmmakers like you aren't taking it for granted because you are telling those stories. And I
Yeah.
think that's the answer. That's the opposite of, complaining about what's to come, is that
Yeah.
people like you are showing these nuanced characters and you're giving Black people and people of other ethnicities the opportunity to show their talent. And then
hope
people
so.
say, oh, wow,
Yeah.
this is a thing.
And the other thing is, I feel like in our generation, we're just a little bit more collaborative. I'm not, no shade to anybody else or any other generation. I'm just saying, like,
Don't shade him. Go ahead, get him.
Like East is a friend of mine. Barry Jenkins is a friend of mine, and there's just like there's no competition there.
camaraderie.
Like Ryan Coogler.
Well, there's
we all
more
root for each
platforms
other.
too. There's
you're
there's
able-
more
you're
platforms.
able to-
TV, the way TV has changed, that has really given a lot of latitude and opportunities for people, specifically people of color that wouldn't have had it like in the film industry. The fact that you have like these non-ratings based TV networks like Hulu and Netflix and Amazon, like that really has kind of changed the game because now Barry's got like a mini series coming out on, I believe, Amazon. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
You know what it does? It puts a monetary value almost on being poppin', right?
Yeah.
And Black people have always been, throughout the history of America,
Poppin'.
poppin'. However, it didn't necessarily equate in a rating system, as we know from radio,
Yeah.
to the proper eyeballs, because
Right.
Black people aren't notoriously the easiest people to poll when it comes to
Wow,
what you're
you
watching.
trying to say? So we don't. I'm just kidding.
No,
I'll
probably
say-
what you're saying. Exactly. They won't. People.
We don't like to be researched. We
Yeah,
don't
I
like
get
to
that.
They don't want people.
participate.
Black people
We
don't want people to know where you live.
I get
right.
that.
So like they're not trying to
I
sign
certainly
up
don't
for
want
that.
people to know where I-
Exactly. So as a result, now because of the internet and social media's importance, being poppin' and setting the tone culturally has a value, a more tangible value.
Yeah.
And I think it's opening all these amazing doors. When you really outline it between your show, what Issa's doing, what Donald Glover's
Atlanta.
doing, it's unbelievable. It
Yeah.
really is. I mean, it's the heyday of television in general, and it only is right that there would be these amazing shows of people who are not white.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like taking back the appropriation of all of the great things Black. I mean,
Yeah.
so many other people have just taken the way we look, the way we talk, the way we dress, and they've made it popular. It's regaining that control and that power of
The
just who
format of
we
our TV shows.
naturally are. Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact that the somewhat legitimate reason as to why at 37 years old I just for the first time bought jewelry is because I work in other really white places, and I'm not going to get a tattoo or anything, but I did want to do something code-like that allows people to know that where I'm really from
Right.
is the hip hop world.
It's
So
weird.
It's
I'll
weird.
say it's weird.
It is weird, but you couldn't identify
I
with
get
that
it.
experience.
It's weird.
But but I didn't even ask you. What-
I also find it.
Okay, cool. All right.
No, I mean, honestly, it's all about intent and why you're doing something. You know what I mean? It's like, and also I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like the identities we lead, like the what we are in society, like how people see us, as long as that's just one part of what's going on for you, as long as you're keeping in touch with who you are.
No, my Instagram's become all jewelry.
Okay, well, you know what? You're lost, man. You lost.
It's just pictures in the store. I go to 47th Street all day like seeing a new.
Well, now I got my season 2, so.
Logan, Justin, congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you,
It's
you.
man.
awesome.
So
Thank you
dope.
guys for coming by.
Appreciate it. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Dear White People, right now on Netflix, get up there and give it some great ratings because all the haters are giving it a thumbs down, I heard. Is that
Well,
real?
No, we're
Where, by the way? You can't
Can I
do
say
that on
something?
Netflix, can you?
We're at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Certified
so they can suck it.
fresh.
They can suck
Certified
it.
fresh. Hey, what's up?